Okay, I'm going to go over a simple database that I put together using PHP. But first I'm going to state just a few things about the language as a whole. PHP is an industry standard. It has been utilized by big social media platforms such as Facebook, and it's prime for web development. And it's very popular amongst web developers and developing web applications. According to Oracle magazine, its streamlined functionality is essential for organizations with limited development resources and intense deadline pressure. So PHP is growing at a great rate, and it's becoming even more popular the more it's being used. So first I'm just going to go over the database here. We have a database where you can just store your name into the database and see the name and then delete the name out of the database. First I have the store names function. I'm just going to show you how it was implemented in the back end. In the back end, first we just have just an if statement, just checking information from the HTML form. And then we have the code basically assumes that the database fields are not null. Then the else statement, if everything is good in the if statement, then the else says go ahead and establish a connection with the database. So if we don't connect, we'll receive an error message, and if not, then we move on. Now here we have the database name, which is stored into a variable because of security purposes. So like if the hacker tries to infiltrate our penetrate our infrastructure, which is our database, then they won't be able to get the name of the database, but they'll just see the variable here. Now we also have the database connection info that was put into a variable as well for security precautions. Now we're just setting up the table where we're just accessing the names table, and now we're going to accept all the information here from these columns. We're going to construct, we're going to insert the table information that we've got into this string, and then we're going to store the results in the variables. Now if the result was false, there obviously will be an error, and if it's true, it will execute the query, and the query is going to be taking this string and the connection information. Now some of the errors that I got from implementing this was that my first name, my first column wasn't being recognized in the field list, error code 1054, but that can be fixed by just going into, just locating where first, it might be misspelled or something of that nature, but, it's just a parse error that I've gotten. Now if we move to names input, this is basically just creating the form that you see here, right here, first name, middle initial, and last name, So we'll be deleting these off here. Now if we go to delete record, we can actually delete any name that was stored into the add names part here, the store names PHP. Just to give you a little back end information on the delete record part, we have it just basically, establishes the connection with the database. If the DB connect information is inaccurate, it will say unable to connect to the database server. And if it's accurate, it'll move on to this part right here. Well, it'll connect to, the database server. Then we have here, basically, it's going to check if there are any information here to be deleted. So this is going to check, these name and everything from table name to see if there's anything that needs to be deleted. Then we have just a few echo statements here, which is just some comment. We're not commenting, but it's just going to, say here are the list of names depending on whatever's there. And we have another echo statements, which is just going to format how the list will show up on the screen over here. So Ghana.php. Now this Ghana.php is what's going to show when all the information basically has been deleted, or whatever you selected has been deleted from the database. And the code is very similar to the delete record code, except for this bottom part right here is different from the bottom of the Ghana.php code. And then we have the show names in the database, where it said basically right now there are no names, no entry in the database to show. So to go over this, it's just gonna, same thing as the others, it'll connect to the database server, and then it'll look and see what in the table names what's there, and then if there's nothing there, then there'll be nothing to show. And there's something here, there will be something to show. So well, that's the end of that showcase of the PHP database, the database built with PHP, and I showed you the back end of each function here in the database. And let's see. Yeah, and just to go over the errors that I had again, I had a few parse errors, and as you can see, I had this error of just the, well, if we want to put real names in there, it didn't accept the first name because it might be misspelled somewhere here. I'm very sure. And like I said, PHP has been used, and utilized by Facebook, which is very popular, and many other web development services. And Oracle magazine has went on to say that PHP is widely held as one of the more popular, development languages to use. Thank you, and that is it.